Hi, welcome to Ashley's Closet, and tonight we have another fabulous show. My first guest is film director Frank LaLoggia, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Frank did this incredible movie called Lady in White.
That's right.
And it is a romantic ghost story about losing people you love. It's got a lot of different things in it. It's a very, very special film. That's why I'm having you on the show.
Thank you. Thanks. I very much appreciate that.
I was very touched by that. How did you get into doing this kind of work?
Well, I guess I always had an interest in film. I picked up a camera, made my first film when I was 15 in a successful attempt, to get out of writing an English paper. And I'd had it with writing papers. And so I walked up to an English teacher and asked if I could make a film instead.
Oh, is that funny? How old were you?
And I was kind of half joking, and I really didn't expect her to come back and say, sure, do it. And that's what she did. So then I had to make a film. And so I sat down and thought about what it was I was going to create, and wrote up a little scenario, got my high school to allow me in for 2 weekends so that I could shoot on the proscenium stage. I decided even then that I was going to begin with an artistic masterpiece as opposed to, you know, some exploitative kind of thing. So I hunted all over the country for an 8mm black and white film stock because I wanted to shoot black and white. This was back in 1970. And I found this film stock, I'll never forget, called Perut's Film. It was a French film stock, and I ordered it. And it was a single character piece, and because I really didn't know who else to ask, I played the single character. It was called The Clown in the Light, and it was a very simple premise. We shot on the proscenium. My friend Scott Bartell, who was you know, my classmate, was my cinematographer.
Was this in Los Angeles?
This was in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York, a little town called Webster, New York, where I grew up.
And that will never be the same.
And I made the film, and it took 2 months to get that film stock processed because nobody else was shooting it, and they had to wait until they had enough processing to do in a batch of black and white soup. So it went to New Mexico, I recall, from Rochester, New York, and I was sweating bullets. Finally, it all came back on 6 little rolls, you know, 50-foot 8mm processed film. And then I had to figure out how to edit it. And I sat down and got some editing gear and put it together, brought it to school one day and said, well, here it is.
Did you get an A?
I sure did. I got an A+, and the best part about it was I got out of the rest of my classes. They invited the entire sheet, got the principal to get the whole school to come down. They were running it all day long.
That is great.
Yeah, how you like that?
Well, that's amazing.
And I've never written another English paper.
Right now, what I want to do, I want to look at the trailer on Lady in White.
Oh, sure.
Because I won't have time at the end to see one of the scenes. So look on the monitor, we'll see the trailer.
This is the original theatrical trailer when the film was released theatrically.
Thank you.
Okay, now start coming down real slow. I'm not touching anything. But you just do what I tell you. What are you waiting for? Don needs to get away.
It brought me back to when I watched it. I was really nervous. I was really scared.
Well, that's good. Then I guess I did my job effectively.
Yes, so that wasn't the trailer. That was this scene.
Right, we got the scene. But,
okay, explain Katherine Hellman's part in this, because she was amazing, too.
Katherine plays Amanda Harper. She's kind of a Miss Havisham character. When I wrote the screenplay, I had her in mind. Myself and my cousin Charles had a relationship with her on my prior film, my first feature, Fear No Evil. That's when we met. She was not involved with that film, and we always liked her, and she liked us. And so when I created the role of Amanda, who's this reclusive character, may or may not be the title character, as a matter of fact, I had Katherine in mind, and she was very gracious to come on board. And as you can see, the film also featured Lucas Haas.
Right.
The little blonde boy there was Jared Rushton. This was his first feature film, and from this film he went ahead and did Penny Marshall hired him to do Big with opposite Tom Hanks.
Right, I knew. I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, the kids were all great.
He was terrific in that.
Yeah, the kids were all great. It was a wonderful experience. The movie was produced independently. I raised the money, $5.7 million.
How do you raise money for a movie? Tell our viewers. You're
it ain't an easy job, Jennifer. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process right now of putting together. The money for this film was raised via a public company. In other words, New Sky Communications was a company that my cousin and I put together. We went public. We sold stock to the public. And we traded over the counter on NASDAQ. As a matter of fact, the company still trades. I am currently in the process of setting up my own independent publicly trading company. It's a brand new production entity. The new company is called Bella Casa Productions, beautiful house.
Congratulations.
And we're just about ready to get approved by the SEC and NESD.
It's a whole process, huh?
So that we can start trading, and hopefully that effort will be successful, and I'll be shooting my next film in Italy this spring.
So do you know what the film is?
Oh, yeah, I better.
Or is it in your mind right now?
I better. No, I wrote this screenplay a number of years back, about 3 years ago, actually. It's called Hands, and it's a thriller as well. And
I love thrillers.
Yeah, it's kind of a cross, well, it's got a Daphne du Maurier kind of feel, you know, like, do you remember Don't Look Now?
Yes.
Julie Christie, and they're based on the du Maurier story. One of my favorite films. This film has a bit of that kind of edge. A stranger in a strange land, old world versus new values, and some very bizarre goings-on.
I remember Stranger in a Strange Land, that book.
That kind of a feel, yeah. And so I'm excited about it, and as a result of the structure we're putting together, we will, Bella Casa will finance this film completely in the $5 to $7 million range, and then we're going to proceed with my plans, my very passionate plans, to finally make the film I've been wanting to make for 10 years. I wrote it 10 years ago, right after Lady was produced, and that is The Giant, and that's the story of the creation of Michelangelo's David.
Oh, my God.
And
where would you film that?
In Italy as well. Both films will shoot in Italy. And that...
Cinecittà, or is that what's it called?
Well, it's possible we'll shoot at Cinecittà or one of the independent stages. I had... my first visit to Italy came rather late in the scheme of things. It was 1986, and I was in the process of putting together New Sky Communications to raise the money for Lady in White. We were on our way, and I took a little side track and went to Italy. I'd been wanting to do it for so long.
Where did you go?
We went to Rome, Florence, and Venice. And I managed to cajole, I was dead broke at the time, I managed to cajole my older brother to front me the money and come with me. And he'd never been either, and he's 10 years my senior. So we took off, the two brothers, the two LaLoggia boys.
Watch out.
And it was an incredible experience. For years I'd had this incredible desire to really get back. I've never been there,
ancestors.
But yeah, to my ancestry, and I knew there was something there. I didn't know what it was, but it had been pulling me. Well, we started in Rome, and then we went to Florence, and of course we went to the Accademia to see Michelangelo's David.
I saw that.
When we were in Rome, we went to the Sistina, and of course it was all absolutely magnificent.
It's breathtaking.
I could barely breathe all the while I was there. I was so excited. But something happened in Florence.
What?
I went to the Accademia. My brother was not feeling that well that day, and so I went on my own. And I had a camcorder with me constantly, hours and hours, of course, of home movie viaggio footage. But I went inside, and I really had no special appreciation for Michelangelo or any of the work, aside from the kind of adulation, you know, the world has in general. But I walked into the Accademia, and I had this feeling, the camcorder was in my hand, and there was a sign that said David this way, you know, Sala de David. And it's only 2 rooms, really, 2 big rooms, this museum. So I thought, oh, I want to record this. I want the moment I first see the statue to be on videotape. So I took the camera and put it up to my eye like this. And I'm moving along the sign that says David that way, you know, and sidestepping, you know, into the next sala, the next room. As I do that, of course, kind of like going through set, you know, facades and walls, I went past the wall from the room I was just exiting and into the adjoining room, and the David, if you've ever seen it, stands at the end of a long, narrow hallway. And I saw it for the very first time through the camcorder, and I passed out.
Oh my God.
I was dead cold, everything. I don't remember anything except waking up with a cup like this. These don't photograph well. And
no, it's the white.
Yeah. And so I woke up, and they were giving me water, and I was out very briefly, but it was like a thunderbolt. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I stayed all day. I stayed all day. And
it is like a thunderbolt.
yeah, I came back. We finished raising the money for Lady, and I knew, and I was terrified. I knew what I had to do next. And so I turned down every subsequent offer that came to me, including an offer to direct Ghost.
Did you really?
From Paramount, yes. And
you know,
I went to
that
Italy.
movie.
I like Ghost a lot. And I went to Italy to write this piece. I'd researched it all through the making of Lady in White, The Giant.
The Giant.
And I stayed in Italy to finish the first draft and wrote it in 2 months. It was like automatic writing. And for the past 10 years, I've been trying to get together enough of a financial structure to make it work. Bella Casa, I believe, will allow me to do that. So Hands came as a result of my having been in Italy. It was another idea that was brewing. And
what's that about?
That's about, as I said, it's kind of like a clash between old world and new, and secrets kept. I'm very excited about it. I'm the sort of fellow, as you can probably see from the clip, it gets very heavily into storytelling via imagery as opposed to words.
I like that.
I use words, but I think I talk too much in my day-to-day, so when I get on the set, I'd rather just let the images tell the story. But it's, I can't really say too much more about it than that. I'm not very good at capsulizing what my films are about, but The Giant's easy to talk about.
Yeah, okay. Is that going to be in a present day, or is that like when Michelangelo was being formed?
Oh, no, we'll be in high Renaissance. The story exclusively involves that period in his life, well, some of what preceded that period, but primarily the 3 years that he spent creating the statue. And it's about all of the socio-political stuff that was going on at the time, and it's about the most exciting rendering, I think, of what might be considered by some to be a fairly stuffy topic. I found it to be anything but that.
Was he a starving artist?
Oh, no. He actually, Michelangelo, along with Raphael and Leonardo, and many of the artists of the High Renaissance.
Not Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, not that Leonardo.
I'm only kidding.
Where's the camera? Not that Leonardo. There was another Leonardo that preceded that Leonardo. But he was very much respected by those who understood art, loved art. You know, the Medici family were his benefactors. Lorenzo, in particular, early on, he studied with Ghirlandaio as one of the top sculptors of his time. Michelangelo was one of the rare breed of artists who actually was lucky enough to experience, you know, the kind of praise and considering the times, also good fortune monetarily that very few do.
Unlike Van Gogh.
And he was 26 to 29 when he created the statue. In the film, this story ends with the unveiling of the statue. So disregard, you know, any imagery you may have of Charlton Heston, you know, and that horrible debacle film version of the Irving Stone book, The Agony and the Ecstasy. Forget about that. But that's what Bella Casa is all about. It's finally an opportunity for me to design a structure that will allow me to continue to create films on my own, because I'm just not a studio guy. Yeah. I'm just not.
That's from what I heard. That's right. From what you told me.
Yeah, I'm not.
When you look at actors, when you hire actors, what do you look for when you read an actor? Because you were in our class the other day. Right. And you saw a lot of people go up and do a scene. Do you look for like flexibility?
Truth. Absolute truth.
Honesty.
There's nothing more exciting to me. It's really tough to make that happen, you know, to suddenly to believe everything, every nuance, everything that actor is doing as though he were
actually doing it,
living it for the very first time, breathing it for the very first time, experiencing the horror of it, the joy of it, whatever the hell it is, you know, that's required. And when an actor achieves that, the penultimate in his craft,
it's such a high.
Well, it's a high for the audience. Yes. It's a high for everybody. Yeah. You know, it's a wonderful thing. So that's what I look for. I look for truth. I look for honesty. And if even a moment transpires in the course of my working with someone that is distruthful, forget it. They're not going to get away with it. Interesting story about Alex Rocco in Lady in White, for example. Alex Rocco plays Lucas Haas's dad, Frankie's dad, and his first scene in the film involves the boys having been almost killed by an unknown attacker. Right. The story involves his being locked in his school cloakroom on Halloween. I
remember that.
Right.
Is that in the trailer?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, it's in there.
Because I want to see that. Yeah. We've got like a couple minutes left.
Sure. So. But Alex had never worked with me before. I'd never worked with Alex, and so the first scene Alex did was the scene where he's walking out of the school after Frankie's been rescued by him and by the police at the very last moment. And if you go back and you look at that scene, it's a shot of him. I had him walk into, his very first shot was an extreme close-up. And it was right after he'd almost lost his boy, you know, and that's the shot where the audience has got to see us really hit him, as they're wheeling Frankie out to the ambulance. And so anyway, the point is, he needed to shed tears. Well, he walked over, I discussed the scene with him, he walked over to the makeup people and asked for glycerin. I overheard him. I said, oh no, I'm afraid I didn't do my job, come with me. Well, I took him back into the school. And I won't tell you what happened back there, but those are real tears that
well, let's watch it.
See.
We're gonna close with this because we got.
Sure.
But I want to thank you for coming on my show, and good luck with Bella Casa and all your movies and everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And so we're gonna close with watching the trailer.
Yeah.
And we'll see that scene.
Trailer.
I remember that very well. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Jen.
Frankie, where you going?
To school.
Halloween, 1962. The problems of the world were a universe away from a place called Willow Point Falls. Or maybe that was only the way it seemed.
Are you hurt?
What's that look like? Ketchup?
That was the Halloween Frankie Scarlatti didn't make it home.
Let me out of here!
That was the night she came into his life.
There was a little girl. I saw her. She was killed in the cloakroom.
And suddenly, what was once so safe became very dangerous. What was once so ordinary became magical.
Do you have any idea where you...
I couldn't see his face.
11 kids molested and killed in the past 10 years. They're all from the city, except for the first one.
And everyday events became miracles.
Listen to me! 10 years ago, she was killed in the cloakroom. I saw it happen.
Where's their proof?
This case has been making monkeys out of all of us for the past 10 years.
The Peak, the haunting ground of the legendary Lady in White.
Where are you going?
I gotta follow her.
Lady in White. An extraordinary adventure. A haunting mystery. A very special movie. Lady in White.
Hi, welcome back. That was amazing, wasn't it? That movie. Wow. Welcome back. We have with us Susan Wiegand. Susan wrote this wonderful book called Cooking